Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Simply Sketchy. And today I've dragged with me Fat Dave, or Total Blackout Painting, once again.
Hello.
However, sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah. However, unlike last time and the time before that, we're gonna go to Comic Bookville instead. Dave, who are we drawing today?
Today we are gonna focus on the main man, Lobo, from DC Comics.
The dude that is so hype and so hardcore that he became immortal because of it.
Yep. He's such a badass that he can't be killed.
Yep.
So yeah.
He drives a motorcycle in space. He wears
Yep.
a vest and makes it look cool.
He smokes a cigar in space too.
Yeah, and that works because the cigar knows what happens if he doesn't stay lit.
Right.
Nobody messes
the-
with the main man.
The last Zarnian.
Yeah.
So yeah, the last of his kind, because supposedly he killed all the rest of them.
Yeah.
So
He's kind of like
It's-
Superman if Superman had no morals at all.
yeah, absolutely no morals or no compunction about killing people randomly.
Oh yeah.
At all. So it's he's a fun character that I've always loved. And
Yeah.
I got into him when I was a kid. Of course, back in the '90s when they were still be putting out, back when Simon Bisley was still drawing it. I think the first Lobo comic I ever got was the Paramilitary Christmas Special, which is where the Easter Bunny hires Lobo to kill Santa Claus. He hires him to infiltrate the North Pole and kill Santa Claus. Because Santa Claus is a dick. Basically. And it comes out that Santa Claus is like running this military operation, and all the elves and everything are like an armed paramilitary.
Okay.
So there it is, I found it. So yeah,
Dear Lord.
the Paramilitary Christmas Special, published on, oh wow, it's got a fucking advertisement for the last Boy Scout on the back with Bruce Willis and Damon Wayans. Opens December 13th. This is a super old comic. Trying to find the
That is
wow.
old.
And you know how old this comic is? It has something that a modern comic book would never have in it. It
What?
has an excerpt of the Constitution printed on the first inside of the cover.
Holy.
Yeah. One thing has influenced every presidential decision in the history of the United States: the Constitution. For 200 years, through war, the Depression, even civil unrest, the Constitution has influenced every presidential decision. It is what the framers of our Constitution wanted. They knew what it was like to live in a country governed by a king. So when our founding fathers created the Constitution, they wrote Article 2 specifically to define the powers of the presidency, to take a closer look at one of history's most important job descriptions. Send for a free information kit which contains a copy of the Constitution. Right? Constitution, Washington, D.C.
Oh boy.
You would never have that in a comic now, not talking about the Constitution. Which is
Not a
really
point,
funny
though.
because when this was published, George Bush Sr. was the president.
Right.
And every time there's a Republican in power, the left and a lot of the establishment just freak the hell out. about they freak out about, oh, he's gonna be the new dictator. He's gonna be a new
I know
dictator.
it's I know, but remember we are in art check. We
Oh.
don't do too much politics, remember?
No, yeah, definitely not, definitely not. But in the terms of comic books, it's really interesting to see that in the 90s that was the thrust of the comic book industry, where they were very much favoring free speech and freedom of expression and
Oh
unlimited
yeah, that
freedom of
used to mean
expression.
something back in the day, right?
Yeah. But yeah, no, back on the comics. So, Simon Bisley had just such a phenomenal and unique art style, and I always it was always so striking to me the way he did a lot of his artwork for people. You know, the way he drew people, the way he drew muscles and bodies and stuff. It always kind of similarly reminded me to other like fantasy authors, or I mean artists, like Frank Frazetta or Boris Vallejo.
You also have the dude. I can't remember his name, but you know the dude who does those did those absolutely stunning Lord of the Rings arts. What was
I
it,
can't remember
Ian
his
something?
name.
I don't quite remember myself. I'm ashamed that I don't remember, but it.
I know.
He drew amazing. Like so one of them is, for example, the cover of Return of the King, where you have the orcs being charged by being in the fields of Pelennor. Christ, that's some good stuff.
Yeah. Well, there's so many just really amazing fantasy painters.
Oh yeah.
And I always felt like Bisley's artwork was kind of that union between, because it wasn't traditional comic book art, right? It was a lot more stylized.
Yeah, the images you showed me of like Conan and shit, right?
Yeah, well that's Frank Frazetta stuff. Frank Frazetta stuff did the Conan stuff. Frank Frazetta did the Conan stuff. But I don't know. There's just something about Bisley's art that is really reminiscent of Frank Frazetta and Boris Vallejo to me. And so this was and my older brother, he really loved comics. He was way into comics. He still is, I think. I mean, I know he still is. But my older brother had, he's collecting comics in the 90s, and he had those big giant comic book boxes. You know what I mean? The big long white boxes with the comic book. Like I have magic cards in those white boxes. He had comic books in those white boxes and had so many of them. And so I was exposed to comics through that. And so, you know, I was kind of like classically trained, but it wasn't like, I don't know, what was the comic book? The 90s wasn't the golden era. It wasn't, I don't know if that was a bronze era.
The 90s had some pretty good comics. They didn't start dying out until like late 2000.
Yeah, no, they started dying out it was actually early and mid is when a lot of that stuff started being co-opted and destroyed.
Tell me about my feminist agenda, Marvel.
Yeah, exactly. Ask me about my feminist agenda. That kind of stuff is obnoxious and terrible, and what killed the overt politicization of comics. It's what killed it for me. And in the end, like, so Diamond, I don't know if you heard recently, but Diamond Publishing is shutting down. Diamond Publishing is one of the largest distributors of comics.
Really?
Like printers. They're one of the largest publishers of they print and distribute comics. And
really? And they're going
Yeah,
down?
and they're going out of business.
Huh.
Yeah, because people aren't buying comics
Gee,
in the
I
same.
wonder why.
And well, now I think there's a couple of reasons for that. And
I,
honestly, I think the reasons go far beyond just the politicization of comics.
oh, dude,
I
without
think
without a
it's more
doubt.
than just. I think it's more than just bad writing,
Oh, yeah.
because you know, in my mind, that's what drove me away from a lot of the modern comics, just bad writing, bad stories, and a lot of really bad art.
Mm-hmm.
But really, they haven't, especially with Marvel, what they do, and with the publishers. So like the publishers, and this has happened to Magic too. They want to monetize a product as much as possible, and in their mind, I mean, and realistically, yeah, to monetize a product as much as possible is you want to spread that IP across as many products as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So they end up watering it down,
Yeah.
and so a lot of the problem with comics now is it's not even necessarily that there's bad writing. It's that they do a 6-issue run, and then they have 7 variant covers for that starting issue. And so then people read like the first 3 or 4 issues and then be like, it's not that good. It'll fall off. And then they'll be like, oh, relaunching brand new. So instead of like trying to correct or make characters better or correct storylines, they just dump it and start all over.
Yeah, it's
Start with a whole new story. And but again,
retarded.
well, it dilutes, it heavily dilutes the market, and it heavily dilutes the IP.
Yeah. But
So now Magic,
a lot of that too is because the bigwigs want to keep the IP under their thumb because why would they risk losing it?
Well, I don't know if it's so much that as it is just trying to exploit it as much as you can while you can, like as quickly as you can while you can. While they got to strike while the iron's hot, because otherwise they might miss the opportunity on the market. And so instead what they'll do is just kill the market themselves with oversaturation. You know, because like Magic is, as a long-time Magic player, I've been playing Magic since I was in high school. Been playing Magic since 1994. I have been playing Magic the Gathering.
Nerd.
And yeah, I know.
Sorry.
But the game is little more than just a Fortnite style card game now.
Really?
Right? It's just a vehicle for another IP to kind of advertise in a way.
Hey,
because they're just coming out with the.
I've seen what they did to try to do to Lord of the Rings.
Oh yeah, well that's exactly it. They're doing a Final Fantasy set here, which some of the cards mechanically look good. And if you're into Final Fantasy, then I'm sure those cards are really awesome for you. But the thing is like I'm into Magic.
I'm pretty sure
I'm into Magic,
Tifa...
and I was into Magic, and I wanted a Magic card set, but instead I got a fucking Final Fantasy set with Magic on Magic cards.
Dude, I'm pretty sure they're gonna butcher Tifa. You know, I don't trust.
No,
them.
they aren't. They're using the Final Fantasy art. They're pretty much using, it's basically they're using a lot of the same art from the Final Fantasy friggin' card game, dude. It's not. I mean, they're straight up using Final Fantasy art. They're not taking. They did not. Square Enix or whomever owns Final Fantasy now did not give. They had the foresight to not give Wizards control over the design of their stuff.
So they did
they're
have
like,
some
probably
level of
they're-
sentience, huh?
right, because they were probably like, here's what you can use, and here's some artwork you can use, and probably something like that. Like, there's definitely some original artwork in it, but it's all Final Fantasy stuff, like the Buster Sword, you know, but it just by itself, like they can draw that on its own without messing it up.
Again, never say never.
You know,
I never say never with those guys.
see, I'm thinking that might be a little too long a beard. Like that beard might be. Make him a little stubblier. You know, that's pretty funny. Control Z.
Yeah, the undo tool, and this is what fucking this is an ability you get to press buttons really fucking fast from quick time events.
Right. Yeah, I think make him a little more stubbly and a little less hairy.
All right. I thought you liked your man Harry. Ah.
Well, you know, just on the belly.
Let's see.
But yeah, so they take their and then there's like Marvel comic books friggin' set. There's even a My Little Pony secret lair. You know what? There's a goddamn SpongeBob set of cards, like legit SpongeBob magic cards.
You're fucking kidding.
No, seriously, dude. There's My Little Pony magic cards. There's just so many different non-magic magic cards, and even stuff I like. Like there's 40k decks. There's Warhammer 40k Commander decks, which are dope, but 40k is not a magic thing. Lord of the Rings, I have the Sauron deck. I friggin' love it. It's not a magic property, you know? And really, they screwed up by giving Wizards that. They shouldn't have let Wizards do that, because obviously Wizards fucked it all up.
You can never...
Because they can't
Yeah, the thing about Wizards of the
help it
Coast... Yeah, you can't trust Wizards of the Coast to do anything but screw up what they're given.
Well, they're too... You know why? It's because they're in Seattle.
That too.
They're up in Washington with their heads up their asses.
They're also owned by Hasbro, which are notorious for not having any idea what the hell they're doing. Like, you have the Transformers IP and you don't know how to use it. Go fuck yourself, Hasbro.
Yep.
Sorry, we could have had so many fucking Transformers games, dude. And we don't have a single fucking one.
Well, just be glad, because you can have a bunch of garbage instead of something
We
decent.
do have garbage. It's called mobile games.
Yeah.
That's all we've got.
You could have absolute shit instead of nothing. And in my opinion, nothing is better than absolute shit.
Yeah, I wish we had absolute nothing. Have you heard about something called Earthspark, my friend?
Oh man, no.
Yeah,
actually, I actually haven't. So
okay, do yourself a favor. If you want to suffer, look at Earthspark. If you don't want to suffer, don't look at Earthspark. A friendly advice. A friendly advice.
I'm good. I'm good.
Oh boy.
But yeah, they and I understand, because Wizards of the Coast was at one point, I don't know if this is still the case, but they were at one point the largest private employer of artists in the entire world. Just for doing magic cards, right? And like I said, I don't know if that's still the case. It could be, but I don't think so. And I honestly don't think it's too much longer. Like they've swore we're never going to use AI art. They might as well just put a big old asterisk on that. Put a for now. Yeah. Everybody knows they're going to.
Oh, they already used it. Again, I've.
They have already used it in some of their promotional materials. Yeah, they totally have used AI art in some of their promotional materials, and it's like, because they put out a set, like an advertising piece that had all the set boxes on it for a specific set, and the background was AI generated, because it was like And it was like a library kind of thing too. So it was like supposed to be sitting around on a table with some books and stuff, and it was AI generated. And if you're a company that employs like actual like artists, have an actual artist draw that for you, you know. But I think they thought they were gonna be slick and get it passed, but
Right.
but dude,
AI art
people
is
pick out like
AI illustration gets better and better, but it's still not. You can still tell. You can still find details.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: if you want to see if it's AI or not, look at the eyes, look at the hair. You'll see the mistakes there.
Yeah, yeah. Because it's even gotten pretty decent at hands now for the most part.
Oh yeah, they're doing hands better, but again, small details like hair and shit, they can't do that to save their unexisting lives.
No, and the eyes are always. If you watch the eyes, that's always a real dead giveaway because the eyes will, they'll do weird things.
Oh yeah.
Like their eyes won't look in the right direction, or they'll just be slightly off in somehow. So.
It's fucking disgusting. Though, again, I'm not against using AI to make a good start of something. Like, use it. You can use a pretty good reference out of AI. Just saying. But for the people thinking that AI will replace art completely, that's still a few years away, I think.
Yeah. Well, the thing is like AI needs to have art to be trained on.
Yeah.
Right? And so people still have to keep creating art in order for AI art to evolve.
Exactly.
And in the end, like AI is not going to. I don't think AI is going to create an art style that is new and unique.
Nope.
Right. It's always going to have to be derivative of something because it can't draw on something that isn't already known.
I think it can learn to combine things and get something new out of that, but I don't think it's able to do something completely original.
Yeah, that's, but yeah, synthesizing an idea from is a lot different than, I guess, a spontaneous. I don't know. It's not creativity. Yet.
Honestly, though, the thing is that many people think AI will move away from humans. It won't. AI will need us because, again, without us, it can't have any input. It's just a hollow husk. The thing is that it's gonna, at some point in the future, I think, and this is most likely gonna happen because of our over-dependency on technology, AI and humans are pretty much gonna walk side by side. Just like how we use our phones, we're gonna use AI like that in the future.
Well, have you read the Neuromancer books?
No, I haven't. Didn't even know that was a series. Oh, yeah,
it's been a long time. Oh yeah, Neuromancer. Well, it's one of the first cyberpunk books.
Really?
Neuromancer. Yeah, it's where the. Anyhow, but it's the story is about two AIs trying to come together, and when they finally do, at the culmination of the story, it creates a super powerful AI, which is gonna basically manage humanity. And because it's become a sentient, effectively a sentient creature, right? The AI has. But one of the cool things in the story is that AI actually indicates that it talks about how it's already in contact with other AI entities from across the galaxy, because those AI sent signals, encoded signals to humanity through like radio waves and shit. But humans weren't able to understand it. And as soon as the AI came online, he could understand it and decipher that code. And it was like, as soon as the AI came online, the AI already had enough information to already be in contact with another AI from across the galaxy.
Yeah.
So
honestly, it's AI is gonna be the way we traverse the stars, essentially. You know that shit China is doing with the human clone brain, fat-grown human brains.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's gonna be the end point.
Yeah.
It's not gonna.
Yeah.
Humanity is not gonna be extinct, but there is a part of humanity that's gonna end up like that. Jars and brains from Fallout, just with more unholy abomination-looking bodies.
Well, that's what in the Brian Herbert Butlerian Jihad prequel series, which is not Dune canon, so that we're 100% clear. On that unrelated 5-part book series, that happened to be named after something in the Dune universe, they had Cymex is what they called them. And those were the people who used machines. They were the machine people, the thinking machines.
Yeah.
Were the Cymex. And they were just, they were brains. And there was thinking machines. There was actual thinking machines that was like AI. But then there was the Cymex who were kind of working with the machines. But they were brains in jars.
Yep.
That had cybernetic bodies. And like different big cybernetic bodies. And they were all named like weird.
Remember one was called Agamemnon, right?
Yeah, they had Agamemnon. They were named after Greek philosophers, stuff like that. And so. But
I prefer the Butlerian Jihad from the original books, where it's just the technocracy of people, of just bad people using AIs to just make humans subservient.
Basically, yeah.
And I mean, that is the most realistic dystopia we're heading towards. I mean, we're already heading towards it, but again, you can't counter that with the Starship Troopers Federation. Just saying.
Oh yeah. Now we're gonna start talking about dystopian shit. So
I mean, we're talking we're drawing the ultimate fucking rebel here, so might as well talk about the stuff that creates rebels. Right?
The ultimate badass. Yeah. So
yeah.
We'll talk a little bit more about Lobo here.
Yeah.
Because we've gone on the art tangent a little bit. So his first appearance was in Omega Men #3 in June 1983. Like I said, his Sarnian, and he's the last one because supposedly he was such a badass that he killed all the rest of them.
He didn't even try, by the way. He most likely just stood there, was too badass, and everyone just got a heart attack.
Yeah. But then he kind of did a hiatus with Lobo for a little bit. They introduced him and they didn't really know what to do with him that much. And then Simon Bisley came in and really kind of took over and started his art style, and his drawings of Lobo really kind of reinvigorated the character. And led to a bit of a renaissance for him in the late 90s. Where he got a lot of good art, a lot of good comics, and like standalone comics, not like Lobo versus the Justice League or anything like that, like legit Lobo comics on their own. So the ones that stand out to me most, the ones I have sitting right in front of me, actually, the Infanticide is a series, and what that is like, because Lobo's been all over the universe, and he's the main man. All the men want to be him, and all the women want to be with him. So he's got a lot of illegitimate children around the universe. Yeah, so
child support payments? No, thank you.
No, so you got to catch him to make him pay child support payments. But of course, he's bred an army of super powerful, little bitter, angry psychopaths, and so the whole comic is just his kids getting together, like his kids getting together to try to kill him. And the reason why it's called Infanticide is not because they win.
No, that is infanticide is not what killing your parent means.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Well, hey,
Yeah,
they
it's
they
not called
brought it on.
patricide.
Yeah, they
It's
brought
called
it on
infanticide.
themselves. They brought it
They
on
did. They
themselves.
did. And so that one was actually done by Alan Grant. Did the artwork for that one. That was not a Simon Bisley one. So the artwork's a little different, but it's still pretty good.
Right.
Alan Grant did a few of them later. Uh, and he did another one. Another comic I have here is a Portrait of a Victim.
Portrait of a Victim.
And
okay.
yeah, so it tells the story of a dude who encounters Lobo casually, and then Lobo just fucks him up. Like the guy's just some regular mook, right? And actually, it's funny. The comic starts out Lobo's walking into a bar, and in some alien place. Actually, it says guns on the thing, so it's a gun store, but I assume it's a bar too, because Lobo's going there. And it's got some guy's walking his dog, and the dog pisses on Lobo's foot while he's looking in the thing, and the guy's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry." And then the next panel is the guy with the dog sticking out of his ass in his mouth. So Lobo shoved the dog up the guy's ass so far that it came out of his mouth.
Yeah, just to point out, Superman might be the boy wonder. What was the ultimate? The ultimate Boy Scout. Lobo is just Superman, but yeah, none of that shit.
He's very much the opposite of that. But yeah, so this is and it just goes through a pretty boilerplate story where this dude is like kind of an asshole and has a shitty wife and a shitty life, and like things kind of suck for him, and then he runs into Lobo in a bar. Not like he runs in, it just incidentally gets in the middle of a bar fight that Lobo was in, and gets killed. Well, he was at the bar where Lobo was at, actually. I guess he's playing cards. But the dude himself wasn't like... The dude himself didn't do anything to, like, piss off Lobo specifically. It just through the course of being around a fucking raging psychopath, the guy ends up getting fucked up. Because, you know, as it turns out, if you have, like, super powerful, super strong beings with absolutely no care or regard with who or what they hurt. That was one of the parts in The Boys, because that's kind of a Homelander thing. That was kind of one of the parts in The Boys where that I thought was kind of cool was when it was in season 1.
The one where he stands and gets shot at, he just laughs and laser eyes everyone?
No. It's not even that. It's the is it season 2? No, it's season 1. They're threatening him the whole fucking shit season with releasing the video. They're like, if we release the video of you on the plane, you know, the people are gonna hate you and you're gonna lose everything. And then at one point he just tells them, he's like, if I lose everything, that means I have nothing to lose. And I will go on a rampage and nobody will be able to stop me. It's like, I will destroy entire cities without a second thought. And it's like, yeah, he could too. He could.
Yeah.
Again, like we talked about with the Batman versus Superman with like their fights causing like 900 9/11s all throughout town. Just Superman trying to fight the bad guy, right? And supposedly Superman gives a shit about people. So imagine somebody
care
like
much
this.
about stuff, but he cares about people.
You know, it's supposed to.
It's
kind of incidental. Like he can't help, but they can't because they're so powerful. They can't help but destroy shit.
Yep.
Right. So you're just better off avoiding him.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like, that's the other thing. People, you know, like the horrifying implication of a world with superheroes and supervillains. You know,
oh yeah,
because that's the reality. Is some crazy alien flies onto your planet with a motorcycle and smoking a cigar with the chain on a hook, and fucking destroys Dallas before anybody can do a goddamn thing about it. He's basically done so much damage in downtown Dallas because how long is it going to take him to actually destroy a building? You know, like not that long.
You only way you can match that is if you use a nuke, I guess. Maybe.
Well, yeah.
It would be cleaner.
Yeah.
The nuclear bomb would be cleaner at least.
Probably. It would be pretty heavy destruction.
Oh yeah.
You know, the cleanup of this would definitely be easier than a nuke, for sure. Because the cleanup is mostly just rubble and debris and not debris and not
that until you get to the random body parts sticking who knows where.
Well, yeah, but it's not like massive amounts of residual radiation. Which that's...
You don't know what his motorcycle's on. What his motorcycle is on.
That's true. But, well, then even if Superman, even if it was like, even the Batman versus Superman fight, where there was obviously no nukes or nuclear armaments used, they destroyed a lot of shit. Maybe not, I mean, definitely not on the scale of a nuke. But like, it took less time to clean up after the LA earthquakes than it did to clean up after Hiroshima. You know,
I'm just drawing in comparison because Lobo, while a nuke explodes, of course, will vaporize everything. The only thing you got to worry about there is like the radiation and further out. But the potential for just downright cruel destruction in Lobo outdoes a nuke, because at least a nuke will just fry you. The nuke will just kill you.
Yeah. That's true. A nuke is indiscriminate.
Yeah, it will just kill you.
He could be very discriminate, like arbitrary and capricious.
He takes things very personally if he so chooses.
Yeah. And
again, Superman will wreck your car and try to use your car as a battering ram against a dude who can handle the hit.
Yeah.
The Lobo will just take your car and smash it with you inside it.
Right.
And that's you getting off lucky.
Right. Yeah, he would just throw your car to throw your car. He would throw your car because so it's not... It is mindless violence, but I wouldn't say it's necessarily... It's because he's just doing stuff that a badass does. And he doesn't give a shit. Right?
He's too hardcore. He doesn't give a fuck. He's Lobo, dude.
He doesn't care, right? Like, he's not killing you because it's a cool thing to do, or he's not beating your ass because it's a cool thing to do. It's because you mouthed off to him and he's pissed off at you. You know, or because you got in his way.
Yep.
You know, like in the comics, he fights so many people. Like in the early comics, he fights frickin' Guy Gardner. He fights the Martian Manhunter. He fights Superman. He fights Batman. He fights all those dudes in the old comics, and kicks their asses.
I was introduced to Lobo through the Justice League series. You know, the one that was the sequel to the animated Batman series? Yeah, and the
Oh,
animated Superman series.
that's right.
Yeah, Lobo
He
was
was in
there.
there.
So I got to know him as the blundering. Again, he was. Lobo might be stupid to the first look, but Lobo isn't stupid. He just doesn't care.
Right.
You can kind of please him by hedonism, but you got to keep that train going, or he'll take that shit personal when he gets out.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the ultimate badass. I fucking love Lobo.
Yeah, dude. Oh, it's the thing about him, and what I like about the old Justice League cartoon is that despite being PG-13, they managed to get across just what kind of guy Lobo is.
Yeah.
Just
And the old
little everything
comics,
matters.
like there was a distinct difference in style between 90s DC and Marvel, 90s Marvel.
Oh yeah.
Right, and I always thought that 90s Marvel had a much better look to it. I don't know. There was some really iconic Batman artists and stuff in the 90s. And it's probably maybe because I was a bit of a Marvel fan. But I always felt like the Marvel comics had a much kind of grittier look to them than DC comics.
There was some pieces of it which was a bit different, though. That varied on the comic book artists.
It did. It varied a lot by artist. But then Lobo was one of those comics. Also, Marvel or DC had some really good, like the Sandman comics were originally published under DC.
Oh yeah.
And those were really good. Now, that show that they made that was based on it was trash. I didn't even bother reading it, watching it, because Neil Gaiman's a big virtue signaling dildo.
Yeah,
who actually apparently, I guess, is a friggin' sex pest or a sexual predator too.
What else is new?
Yeah, I mean, he was a male feminist, so it was inevitable.
Yeah.
But
Cue the joke about how predators like to hide among their prey.
yeah. Well,
Allegedly.
yeah, I think we could get into a deep dive of the psychoanalysis of that but that might be a little too political for what we're looking for here.
I'm gonna put it like this: I like Neil Gaiman's book on Norse mythology because he managed to get it pretty well. And
the American Gods.
Haven't watched it. No, fuck that.
No, the book American Gods.
No, I'm
That's
not
what
doing.
you're talking about.
No, I'm talking about actual Norse mythology. He did a book on that.
Oh, nice.
It's actually pretty damn good. But when it comes, one thing I've learned is never. I have the same rule for Americanization of like Norse mythology and Greek mythology as I have for watching anime with that kind of focus. Don't.
Yeah.
Just don't, because American entertainment, they don't know anything about myths. They don't know how to handle it. They don't know about it. Just like the Japanese, because they're butchering it every single moment they can.
Well, I think a lot of that has to do with the utter faithlessness in Hollywood. Is they have no concept of religion or respect for faith or mysticism or anything like that. And so they ham-fistedly handle, because mythology is a lot of the time is a religious-based topic, right?
Yep.
They don't understand how to think about things in a mystical fashion properly. And so they don't handle it well, and it comes off really trite and bad, because that's how they view religion and mythology. That's how that's their opinion of it. Their opinion of mythology is that it's trite and bad, and so they do a bad job of recreating it. But some artists do a good job.
Some artists can do a real good job on it, and like, take Marvel Thor. I hate Marvel Thor. Honestly, honest to God, I hate the design. I hate his "where hens be sooth something go screw yourself."
Yeah.
Screw that. I hate it, and I will always hate it. However, you can find some pretty damn good Thor and Marvel Thor art pieces.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But It's kind of like it. One thing that annoys me is that they make Mjolnir a stick with a slab of metal on top of it, instead of the more properly crafted full metal hammer that it actually is.
Yeah.
Like, here's the funny thing. You know God of War Ragnarok?
Yeah.
Yeah, it has a lot of criticism, which it freaking deserves. Oh yeah. But if it's one thing it did, it's the most accurate physical portrayal of Thor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thor isn't this athletic-looking dumbass. No, Thor is a hulking brute who can eat literal mountains of food and drink oceans of mead, and he is also the strongest thing on planet Earth, right?
See,
So
I always felt like Marvel took, what was the guy's name? The fat guy's name in Marvel? Falstaff. Is that who it is?
I have no idea.
One of Thor's companions is kind of a fat guy. And I always felt like Thor, the real Thor, was more of a combination between that guy and Thor. And the actual Thor. Not like the chiseled god of fucking muscle and everything.
Exactly. He is a much more, to use the modern term, chonky individual. It's in no way this, again, as you said, chiseled fucking Greek creature.
Mm-hmm.
He's literally just the most man to ever man.
Well, you would expect someone. You would expect someone who drinks and eats like that to be kind of portly.
Yes.
And in reality, very, very, very strong men are not chiseled cut like that.
No, just go look at the dude who played the Mountain. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that Half-Thor Bjorn guy. He's not cut like that unless he's cutting weight.
Yes.
Right? When that guy's competing for World's Strongest Man, he's got a little bit of pudge on him. Right? You look at a lot of those World's Strongest Man, he's got weight on him, is what it is.
I'm agreeing with that. The thing is, he hasn't got a little bit of weight on him. He's got a stomach that if he didn't have the build, he would be fat as fuck.
Well, some of them would. Like Eddie Hall gets that way.
Yeah, it's that just the rest of his bulk manages to show that no, this ain't fat, bro.
Right. Well, and when they're competing for shit like that, and they need to make sure they're working on that muscle mass, dude, they have to eat so fucking much food, and they can't just eat raw protein. They have to eat something besides raw protein to give them more energy. So of course, I totally makes sense that they're going to gain a little bit extra weight, because I mean, even if you're just eating chicken breasts, you're still going to get a little bit of fat.
Oh, yeah.
And so plus they know, as those guys they know their body more than anything. They know they need a little bit of fat, they need a little bit of everything.
You need a little sugar, you need again, it is a balanced diet to help you grow more muscle, and not bulk up, grow more muscle, because that's what you want. You don't want to look like, there's a difference between real muscle and fake muscle. Fake muscle is basically a log of wood. It's big, it's thick, it's impressive, but real muscle is like a steel wire. That's what it is.
There's a difference. There's a difference between the type of muscle that, say, that those guys use for lifting heavy amounts of weight than the bodybuilders than the bodybuilders with like the big giant ripped muscles. Like the actual formation of the muscles have been different.
Yeah.
And like those super jacked bodybuilders are generally not as strong, because that that muscle that is really bulky and everything like that is not as strong as the longer, stronger fibers that you get through like endurance workouts.
Yep.
Those explosive workouts where they're just trying to bulk up don't actually build as much strength as the strengthening workouts. So that's why there's a strength versus bulk, you know?
Pretty much. Again, steel wire compared to a wooden log.
Yep. Yep, pretty much.
Also, you can tell I got a bit tired of drawing chains, so I'm doing the age-old cheat. I'm doing this one.
This is looking good, dude.
Thank you. There's a bit details on this, but yeah. Huh. Oh shit, I've already covered Lobo. Fuck yeah, okay.
I know.
I thought like, oh shit, I got a lot more to do. I was like, oh shit, no, I already done them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's... oh boy. You can get a lot of good stuff out of it. But it's kind of like... Lobo... Of course, it's in the DC animated universe. Like, in superheroes and villains in general always have that typical chiseled look, but even Lobo is that kind of over muscle one. It's not the athletic look, it is just pure fucking bulk. If you're gonna go from
well,
keep in line with the previous discussion.
The way I look at it, and the way I've seen Lobo is that if you were going to go to a bar and there was a dude that pulled up on a motorcycle and you looked at him and you're like, fuck, that guy looks like a badass.
Yes.
That's Lobo, right?
Yeah.
Like, wow, that guy's a real badass. Like, that's how I think of Lobo.
Lobo is the kind of guy that if I saw him in a bar, I would leave the bar as quickly and quietly as I fucking could, because I want to live.
Yeah, right. Yeah, pretty much. Just trouble.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, he's such a badass. But then also, you know, when he's faced with problems, like, he approaches them the same way, just like, I don't give a shit. And if you piss him off, then he's gonna kill you. That's really the end of it.
If he meets someone who is on his level of strength, he's just gonna start trying to piss him off in every single way. Like, I don't think there's any other fucking DC characters who have tried to piss off Superman more than Lobo. Like, genuinely, not in a, haha, I'm such a villain. No, it's like, hey, you're stupid. I'm gonna kick your ass. Hey, you see that thing over there? You care about that? Break. Well, he becomes so fucking petty sometimes, at least in the Justice League series.
There's not a ton of people that can actually stand up to it.
Nope.
Right, like...
But that's
because he could,
yeah.
Go ahead.
That's the thing I like about him, though, because he is a... even though people can stand up to him, because a weak bully is the one who will back up when people stand up to them, right? But Lobo, when he meets someone who can actually go on his level, he will intentionally start pushing buttons so that he can get a fight out of them.
Right.
Yeah,
oh yeah, so I'm looking at some of the crossovers or some of the characters that Lobo has run into, has had run-ins with. So here's some of the list. Hitman, Valor, Starman, which are kind of not super well known. The Ray, Deadman, Green Lantern, the Justice League of America, Stormwatch, Mr. Miracle. So that means he got involved in Warworld. The Legion of Superheroes, Captain Marvel, Wonder Woman, Dr. Fate, the Sovereign Seven, Supergirl, and Superboy. He also fights Aquaman. There's just he was gonna beat up Aquaman until he realizes that Aquaman is a friend of dolphins, and he can't. And Lobo loves dolphins, and he couldn't beat up a fellow dolphin lover. So
I know why he's a friend of dolphins. I know why. The dolphin are kindred fucking spirits.
Right.
Back in the day, I would have. Back in the day, I would have thought that would be a. Oh yeah, he fucking. I love those. Like, but yeah, when it comes to the whole dolphin thing, back in the day, I'd be like, oh, it's cute. He has a soft spot. No, he doesn't. Again, dolphins. They would just be a kindred spirit to him. Hey, finally someone on my level.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's like he's almost and really he's kind of a Deadpool type character, and he was kind of a Deadpool type character before Deadpool was a thing.
Yep.
God, he would have been a good one for them to lean into. They should have given him Leafield. Should have given Leafield more Lobo, since Leafield's the one who created Deadpool.
Oh,
I wonder if they would have
fucking cool.
And
honestly,
Deadpool is an analog of Deathstroke, so it's a little different.
Yeah. But yeah, Lobo and Deadpool would be cool because Lobo can rip Deadpool to pieces, but Deadpool can actually just walk around it. Like, Deadpool tanks hits when he knows he can take them, but if he needs to dodge, he will do that too. Like, Deadpool can be killed. What? Deadpool killed the Hulk.
Yeah.
By just tiring him out, he became Bruce Banner, built himself up, put himself back together, shot Bruce Banner in his sleep.
Yep. Yeah, so that would be an interesting fight.
Yeah.
Between Lobo and Deadpool.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I think I would hand that one to Lobo personally, but that's just personal. That's my personal bias.
I think we would lose because in that fight, I think Deadpool and Lobo would like. The thing about Wolverine and Deadpool, just bring an example. Wolverine has a moral compass and he can be reasoned with. Unfortunately, Lobo shouldn't be able to be reasoned with unless he finds someone to like, and I think Deadpool would be able to count as one of those.
Yeah, I bet Deadpool and Lobo would probably get along pretty well, honestly.
Yeah, so that would mean that in the end they would just start fucking over everyone else.
Yeah,
there would be so much fucking, so many casualties everywhere else.
Well, and that's I never looked at Deadpool as like, I don't know, which I know is wrong, but I never looked at Deadpool as like a crisis level character. You know what I mean? No. Where like he could cause a global crisis if he wanted to, but he totally could.
Oh yeah, it's his own humor is what or childish humor is what disarms him. But honestly, Deadpool is one of the more dangerous characters in the entire Marvel universe, at least as far as I see it.
Well, anybody with true immortality like that, where it's like I'm gonna get chopped up into bits and still come back to life. Like anything short of complete and total nuclear atomization or obliteration is gonna kill you. Like anybody like that would be a pretty fucking could be a pretty dangerous or serious threat.
Yeah. And let's put it like this: Deadpool has gone up against Juggernaut and won.
Yeah. Ugh. That was Deadpool 2. That Juggernaut was so great. It was so good in there. He goes, "I'm gonna rip you in half right now." Like, oh, I love that. When I saw that in the theater, I was just like, "Oh, I love this so much." I'm gonna rip you. I was like, "That's such a Juggernaut thing to say." And then when he says it, "That's such a Juggernaut thing to say."
Just love how, like Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. I fucking love the Deadpool movies.
Yeah.
They are fantastic fucking movies. Like, I know there are some people who aren't impressed with the Deadpool and Wolverine, but I love it. I honest to God love that movie because it came out in an era where I thought movies could be good again, and then that one came out, and I expected crap, dude. You have no idea how low my expectations were, and when I got a good movie, now it's not the perfect movie, but I got a good movie. When I expected crap.
I'm gonna tell you what, dude. That movie, I loved that movie. Went and saw it in the theater. It was the last Marvel movie I'd seen in the theater since Endgame.
Same.
And it was good. I've watched it a few times since, and it just doesn't hold up as well.
Yeah, it's one of
For
those.
some reason.
See him once and you see him. All.
Yeah, Deadpool 2 holds up a lot better on it holds up better in rewatches, repeated rewatches, I think, than the latest one, because it relies so heavily on. There's just so many scenes where it's just massive blurred violence, right? Like there's just massive carnage and violence, and it's like, oh, that's cool, but it only. I don't know. Like, to me, I watched John Wick. I watched all 4 of the John Wick movies. I don't feel like I need to watch those again.
Nope.
Not because they were bad movies, but because, like, the action scenes were cool, but I
get it, dude.
It's not what I look for in a movie. Yeah, and so it's like,
I kind of
I don't know.
When I watch movies like Deadpool, I go there for like the wacky, zany, crazy action.
Yeah.
And I can easily watch those movies again. I need to be in the mood for them.
Oh yeah, no, and yeah, don't get me wrong. Like generally, for some reason this was just not as good for the rewatches. Now to say, I guess to go back to something earlier. Because you were talking about Thor, like the Thor in the Marvel, like his design. Thor in the movies, in the Infinity War movie, was awesome.
Yeah, Infinity War, he was amazing. And then Endgame came.
Yeah. Like the battle scene when he comes out and is like friggin' smashing down, and even the battle scene in Endgame, short of like all the gay girl power bullshit in there, just the part where he comes in, like there's all the things coming at him, like that was in Endgame. Yeah. The part that I really liked with him was like all the things were trying to charge through the shield, and they let him through, and Thor comes in and he's just throwing down giant, like smashing lightning on the ground and blowing up tons of guys at a time.
I love
like on an epic scale.
Bring me Thanos.
Right? Yeah. But it was because he is a badass and he's just going through smashing shit, and that's what I really liked about Thor, was that it's like there's part that, you know, the original MCU movies always, they had stuff in there that, although they kind of changed the characters from the movies or from the comics a little bit, what they did, at least for me, was they gave me something to like about the character.
Yeah, they gave us enough to respect them. Like, even take Ultron, for example. That's one of their best fucking villains, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And James Spader did. Oh, fucking hell, James Spader does a good job.
He was great.
But the thing is, what he managed to do to Ultron is what James Wood did to Hades in the Disney movie. Anyway, I can't say that too much. Point is, he gave it its own flair, but they also changed to Ultron, instead of being a technological or digital clone of Hank Pym, they made him instead a sort of a clone. Like, his personality is based off both Stark as well as Bruce Banner.
Yeah. Yep. Because that's the MCU.
Yeah.
But really, I mean, aside from that, like the individual characters, but like something in the meta about the character, like that thing with Thor, where like it doesn't have to specifically be that Thor came crashing into the battlefield. It's that he could.
Yes.
You know, and like specifically Captain America 2, Winter Soldier was the one, because Captain America 1 was goofy.
Yeah.
It was goofy, and I don't think that it. I mean, it was an okay introduction to Captain America,
I quite liked it, but that's because I liked how they did the Red Skull in a Tesseract.
Yeah, no, I liked that. I liked that.
Like
But I
technologically
liked,
advanced Nazis. That's kind of cool for me.
yeah, but it was too in Winter Soldier where he got most of the action scenes that showed like, because Captain America in the comics was always like a really brilliant thinker. And in the comics they show him, you know, they've got the scenes where he throws the shield and does this. But in Winter Soldier, when it shows the part where he throws the shield and into the jets of the fucking, I don't know, there's some vehicle and he throws his shield into the jets of it, and just the way it was choreographed looked so cool. And it was one of those moments that's like, that's what is cool about a superhero. That's what makes this guy cool as a super. That's what makes a superhero cool, is stuff like that. And I think that the Marvel movies, the MCU, the original MCU movies, did a really good job of highlighting stuff like that.
Yeah. Though
they highlighted the strengths of the characters.
They did, and until the later parts of it, because that's when new Marvel, Disney Marvel, started encroaching the cancer more and more. Like Disney owned Marvel for a long time, but they started really setting in the rot. And here's the thing:
but the full Marvel, Infinity Game, the full Infinity Game Infinity War plan was in place before Disney got involved.
And then they started ruining it all in Endgame. Because here's the thing: Thor was not meant to be Fat Thor. That was just an insult to one of the more popular male characters.
Yep. It was a humiliation ritual.
Every scene with Thor, by the way, guys, and I guarantee this. All right, every single scene that Captain Marvel is in is Thor's scene. From the fucking saving the guys and saving Stark in space, from freaking going around trying to help around the world instead of they reduced him from the Crown Prince, or new king of Asgard, right? And
man, I don't even pay attention to those movies.
I know you don't. I know you don't pay there. I haven't watched any. I haven't watched, dude. This is Endgame. I'm talking about Endgame, dude. All right.
Oh yeah.
Because every scene that Captain Marvel had was Thor's scene. You know, crashing through Thanos' ship.
I don't even remember. Like, I have blocked her out of my memory of that fucking movie.
I know, like, but again, I'm talking about Thor's moments here.
No, I know. They were always trying to overshadow. Like, it was very clear, and I think that we're going to get political about it, but Marvel was trying to overshadow Captain Marvel, or overshadow Thor with Captain Marvel.
Yes.
But Captain Marvel did not have the charisma or screen presence or character development or likability to overcome Thor's on-screen presence. So she failed continuously. And it was just a further degradation of the Marvel universe. And all of the Marvel properties since then have suffered dramatically as a result of it. And it's
But
they just need Lobo to come in and kill everybody.
That would be so much better. More dignified. Like, again, I'm going back to this because this pisses me off, right? You know that there's a scene where there's one good scene with Captain Marvel, right, in Endgame, and that is when Thanos punches her the fuck away.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
When he uses the power gem to punch her in the fucking face.
Yep, send her flying. That was a good scene. I actually cheered there.
I was like watching that movie. I was like, man, half of the people in this movie are so insufferable they make me want to cheer for Thanos anyways.
Yeah.
So, yeah, when he popped her one, oh god.
That was a good moment. But even that moment is supposed to be Thor's moment. Because think about it. You know what he did? How he almost killed Thanos in Infinity War, right? Should have gone for the head. And that moment they have that little bit of a, call it a struggle or wrestling grapple or whatever.
Yeah.
That could have easily been sort of a reminder of that moment, sort of like a reflection, but turned around. So Thanos manages to, instead of getting an axe for his chest and need to run away, he just punches him away again. So once again, basically Thor. Once again, Thor fails at killing him when he has the chance, because Thanos just always manages to outmaneuver him.
Yep. Well, Thanos is super intelligent.
He is.
Right? Like, I guess that's the thing in the comics that is much different than the books, is that Thanos is so technologically advanced and so super intelligent that, like, technology is the reason why he is how he is.
Yep.
It's because he's a super genius with super technology, and while I can see in the movies why they did, like, it would be super hard for Marvel to suddenly say, well, yeah, Thanos is in love with Lady Death, and that's why he wants to collect the Infinity Stones, is to kill half of the universe to impress his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Basically, they couldn't put that in the Marvel universe, because that would require them to personify death, and they weren't going to do that, because again, that
in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, magic became more of a science than mystical.
It did. There still is magic. I mean, but
they don't handle it like magic, right? Doctor Strange is less as a magician. Is less of a magician as a scholar.
Well, again, that goes back to Hollywood's inability to look at embrace mystical thinking in a correct manner.
Yeah.
Right, because they're always doing it because they don't understand it. They don't relate to spiritualism or spirituality or mysticism, and so they don't understand how to write it.
Yeah, you gotta have a soul to understand that shit.
Yeah. Yeah, basically. So they always ham-fist it, and don't do the magic very well, because they're always trying to science the magic, because the true existence of a true magic would imply a world that would require faith to believe in, and the notion of belief on faith is a bad thing in their circles.
Yeah.
So,
because if God is real, where are these guys going then?
Yeah. Which, it is what it is. But I just suck at mystical thinking.
Very true.
To suck at certain things, and so a lot of the magic and stuff doesn't, it's not done well.
No.
But then meta concepts, deep meta concepts that are spiritual in nature and that grapple with, like, they try so hard in the Marvel universe they definitely don't talk about God, and they don't want to talk about God, but
they love talking about God, but not in any kind of way that means anything.
Well, right, but what I'm saying is they I'm trying to see what you're doing here, because his skin's white.
Yeah, but basically gonna try to do a little bit of shading, so I'm gonna remove some of it. do this, right? Try to give it a little bit of texture.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to do this.
Oh,
Just a lot of it. Tried to see if I can get a little bit of like vesicles and texture. You managed to beat the meaning of that in my head sooner or later.
That's that's a hard one when you don't know the jargon.
Yes. I don't
Right.
understand the basics that well because again, I am self-taught. I have never been to art school. Ever.
Yeah.
I wasn't allowed to. Sorry, that's a bad one.
Man, so there's a Saturday morning breakfast cereal cartoon, which I'm not sure if you're familiar with those comics, but it's a guy walking into a store and he looks at the shelf, and on the shelf there's a toilet paper rolls and then there's art degrees.
There you
and
go.
Some guy walks in and he's like, "Hey, what the hell?" And the store manager's like, "Yeah, those guys from the toilet paper factory really get pissed off. They put their stuff next to the art degrees."
That's a good fucking joke. That's a good one. Subverting expectations the best possible way, baby.
Yeah, but then one of my best friends from elementary school, that I grew up with, he's got an art degree.
Right.
Of course, he has an art degree and he's done tech stuff. Right. He's like an educational coordinator or a learning coordinator. I don't know. He's an incredibly talented guy, and he's an amazing artist. But tech shit pays the bills for him.
Right.
So.
Like, it's kind of I can understand that because I wish I could be more. This is a hobby for me, as I repeatedly said, but I wish I could have done more with this instead. But hey, chefing around pays the bill, so.
Yeah. But you got to do what you got to do.
Exactly. And as long as I at least have this hobby, I'll be doing pretty decently.
Yeah, and there can only be. We only need so many artists.
Yep.
Like not the shit talk artists. We only need so many artists. We only need so many historians. We only need so many scientists. Like
at this point, I've just decided that many artists deserves the bad rep that's on them. The negative stereotypes of artists is deserved.
Yeah.
Again, a lot of the reasons why I don't like calling myself an artist, personally, I don't like to call myself an artist. I know many people who says, "Oh, you are an artist," but like, I do not want that, because if I had that kind of ego, if you think I'm insufferable now, oh boy.
Yeah, I would never have the audacity to refer myself as a fucking artist.
Nah,
like,
it's to
best,
me
I'm
being
a
an
guy
artist.
Who paints.
Yeah, I'm a guy who draws, right? I'm a guy who draws. Calling me being an artist, to me, artist means something. You create a work of art, like again, the dude who did the Lord of the Rings cover, right? Fantastic stuff. That's an artist. I'm a dude that draws shit.
But at the same time, dude, some of the stuff that you've created, and I'm gonna fucking be a fag and I'll say even some of the stuff that I've created, and some of the stuff that we created together was I think that was real art, honestly.
Oh yeah. You can't create real art without being like the title of artist. I'm referring to the title, right?
Well,
it's a title that
yeah,
has to be
I know.
earned, not something you have to take. You can't take for yourself.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I absolutely agree with that.
But yeah,
you can't.
Oh man, I miss the fucking collab streams, dude.
Yeah, I know. I wish I could. I hate it, dude. It
so
sucks because I walk around my apartment complex and I see all these people who have stuff on their patio that I got in trouble for having on my patio.
Really?
It's like, why? But here's the thing, dude, is that I complain and I say, well, those people have it and I couldn't have it. Well, then what I'm doing is taking those people who had something nice and I'm shitting on it for them out of spite for the office bitches.
Yeah.
And it's like, I could be petty and I could ruin that shit for those people who are benefiting from, for whatever reason, not falling under the spiteful eye of these silly bitches that run my complex. I don't want to. I feel like that would be bad karma of me, or that would be bad form of me to.
Would bite you in the ass in the future, yeah, I'm pretty sure.
It may or may not, dude, and I could like assuage my conscience by saying, well, it's just in the interest of keeping things fair. Which, if I'm honest, it would behoove me to do so, because if people are allowed to enforce rules unfairly or unevenly, then they'll do it at their own ardor, and it could very much negatively impact me.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and I would have nobody but myself to blame because I didn't make them maintain standards when I had the opportunity to do so. So I have a real moral conundrum there.
Well, if you do it for the sake of it being just and not out of spite, that's kind of a big difference there as well.
It's true, but yeah, it is. If I do it out of spite, and because I have no beef with those people, you know. In fact, one of the ladies, I was walking my dog this morning, and like I was told that I could have 3 small planters on my patio, and nothing more. 3 small planters. I can't have wind chimes. I can't have a bird feeder. I can't have any of that shit because it's supposedly against the lease.
What do these bitches have for you?
Yeah, 3 small. It's the lease. It's on my lease. You know, it's the lease of terms, and they're going to refer. And it's because somebody was like overwatering. Well, they say someone was overwatering their plants. No, it wasn't. What was really happening was they maintained the gutters around here so poorly that there's been water damage through the siding as a result of it. But there's one gal, and she's an older Eastern European lady, lovely woman who has an awesome flower garden. Like she's made herself a little flower bed in front of her patio where I was told I could not. She's made a little flower path up next. It's just awesome. It looks great. But strictly speaking, it's not following the lease. You know? And it's like, well, if they're going to crawl up my ass so much that I can't even set up a table and paint when they're not around, they're going to be up my ass that much, and then someone else gets a blind eye turned towards them entirely. Like, that's shitty.
That is literal fucking bullshit, yeah.
It is. But if I'm a dick about it and I'm like, hey, those guys need to, you know, you guys need to, rules are rules and you guys need to enforce them. If I'm a dick about it, I make our neighborhood a worse place. Right? Like, maybe not a worse place. I make our neighborhood a less attractive or appealing place because the flowers really are very nice. You know, and she does a wonderful job to maintain a very nice garden. And
she's probably very nice too.
That. Oh, she's wonderful. She's a wonderful person. And I appreciate that the only problem I have with it is I wish I could do it without getting in trouble.
Yeah.
That's the only difference. I wish I was afforded. I wish I could get away with it without some bullshit happening and them threatening to kick me out. So that's the only difference. But it's just the arbitrary and capricious nature of female
Karens,
management.
Dude. Karens. Fucking Karens.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's gonna be some.
But a lot of that stuff is more, a lot of those rules come down from corporate.
Yep.
Who, is everybody is famously well known, the corporate entity generally has no clue of what goes on on the ground.
Yep.
They give directives and it's up to the people on the ground to make stuff work. And when it does work, the people in the office think they did a good job, when in reality, the people on the ground had to mangle their clusterfuck of an idea into a workable solution that can actually be usable in reality.
And they keep taking the bonuses, patting themselves on the back. Oh boy, if I actually didn't care about where I worked, I could tell you a lot of fucking stories.
Right.
Office, dude. Like, on where I work, when somebody says the office, it is said in a way where you just feel the intense dislike of it, because the office where I work is just there for one thing: to be a pain in our collective asses. It is a suppository of annoyance and retarded ideas, which they insist is the greatest idea ever, guys. Yeah, sure. Yeah. So you want me to put yogurt in tiny shot glasses and serve that to 350 fucking guests? Sure, boss. Whatever you say.
That sounds disgusting.
It makes me want to strangle someone.
Oh.
Let's put it like
this.
this.
My company is great for that. I don't have to deal with that shit. My company is awesome for that kind of nonsense. We don't have to deal with a lot of that nonsense because our leadership is down to earth.
Are you hiring?
Our leadership. Yeah, right. We actually are. We've got positions open in Virginia and I think Atlanta and
okay.
one in Minnesota. So
where I'm at least likely to get stabbed.
Yeah, if you can be an assembly technician.
Don't fucking tempt me, man.
Yeah.
My job is it's good, but let's put it like this: it is not the leadership that makes me want to stay there. It is the people I work with.
Right.
That's how it's always gonna be. Because regardless where you work, a workplace is a workplace. There's gonna be good days, there's gonna be bad days.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
yeah,
sure,
pretty much.
I like to bitch and moan about it, but I am sentient enough to understand that even if I got a new job, there's still gonna be bullshit there as well.
Right. Yeah, for sure. It's just it's just a side effect of having to deal with other people. Really, that's what it comes down to.
It's society. Woo!
Just, as long as I don't have to deal with HR, I'm fine.
Oh, dear God.
And you know what the thing is, dude? Even the HR gals at my company are pretty rad.
Really?
They're all pretty cool. Yeah, they are. Like, they're all really nice and super helpful.
HR.
Yeah,
nice
I know.
And helpful.
It's so contrary to my experiences with HR at almost every other job I've ever worked at.
You sure this is an actual job?
Yeah, dude. At my previous job, which I'll tell their name, Pennant. Fuck those guys. They suck ass. The HR. So I had paperwork. I have paperwork that I have to recertify for my apartment every year, so I have to have them. I have to give them every year. I have to give them like an employment verification and all this bullshit. Well, so I gave them the paperwork. I have a piece of paper that I give to HR. HR fills it out, scans it, emails back to emails it back to the management people. So, I give that paperwork to HR, and I have like a month before it's due, right? So I give that paperwork to HR, and I ask, hey, can you fill this out? And the HR gal, Brandy, she was so fucking stupid. She takes it, and she's like, oh, okay, sure, I'll take it. And then I give it to her, and then I hear nothing from her. And then I hit her up like a week later, hey, Brandy, did you get that done? Yeah. And then and my apartment people keep coming to me saying, hey, we haven't got that. So I keep going to her, and she assures me it's sent. And I come home, and it's a Friday. I come home, and there's a fucking notice of a 3-day notice to quit, which is you have to remedy this in 3 days or we're canceling your lease on my door, because HR didn't send the fucking paperwork, because that woman did not send the fucking paperwork. And so I emailed them right away, and they didn't get back to me until Monday because it was a Friday. And so Monday, Brandy's like, oh, yep, LOL, sorry, I found it. I was like, yeah, this isn't a fucking LOL moment, Brandy. I spent my whole weekend being afraid that I was going to be kicked out of my apartment because of you guys. Like, this isn't an LOL moment.
Stupid bitch.
I was, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, just cemented.
I would have lost my shit.
You know, yeah, I might have. I mean, I guess I'm pretty good at dealing with dipshits like that. It's just, I just am like, whatever. Just do what you got to do, and I'll move on. It'll be fine. Like, I just have to be stoic about it, because if I let them, like, it pisses me off, but if I let them make me so angry in the moment that I have to, that I lose my temper, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. I'm not going to let them make me lose my temper in the moment. Like, I'll do it later while I'm venting to my friends about what a fucking moron they are. But I don't necessarily need to go off on that person, because generally, if you're dealing with a moron, going off on them won't help. It'll just make everything worse for you and them. So if someone's just being a moron, you just let them do their moron shit until they're done with it, and then you fix it afterwards. Yep. And then, I mean, you can try to correct them. If it's within your purview to correct them, you can try to correct them. If it's not, then whatever. It's like if you go to a restaurant, right? Like, you go to a fast food restaurant, and the kid behind the counter is an absolute idiot. But you just have to deal with him and get through it. You get your order through, you get your food, you eat, and you leave. And that was the end of it. You don't have to deal with that person on a... So, yeah. So, Brandy being an idiot in HR, like, didn't merit me yelling at her. Because I got my solution from her, and yelling at her, it's like yelling at your cat. They don't care. They don't understand. They're just going to get mad at you.
Yes.
They'll only hold a grudge. Exactly. They'll only hold a grudge. So.
That is the best explanation for it, yeah.
Yeah. But anyhow, yeah, HR sucks.
I've lost my temper a few times at work, and most of the times I've regretted it, mostly because I feel bad. But there was one time I just lost my shit in the worst possible moment at someone who didn't deserve it, and that still, like, it's not that it haunts me. That dispute has been settled and dealt with, but holy shit, I still kind of beat myself up over it, because again, I lost control. Totally. You're not supposed to lose fucking control.
Right, 100%. Like, that's how I am now, is because I learned to do that. I learned after having those fucking outbursts where someone does something stupid and I'm like, you're a fucking moron and you should fucking not be doing this, or I got, like, somebody did something stupid and I got way more upset about it than I should have. Like, and then I end up feeling like a bigger asshole later than if I would have just been like, if I would have just realized that people are fucking stupid and dealt with it.
Yeah.
Right? Like dealt with it and not take it personally.
Yeah. The best way to deal with it, I've discovered, is just shit happens. That's how it is. Sol nada. Sol gorda. That's basically what I say.
Yeah, shit happens. It is what it is. That's the effective. It is what it is. Yeah. It's just shit happens. It's the same thing. It is what it is. Shit happens.
For example, every time Bezic has to edit this shit and find some new crap wrong, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Speaking of which, the audio is still recording, yeah? Oh, thank God. The screen is still moving, right?
Yeah. Yep, we're still good. We're good. It's looking good. So, yeah.
Knock on wood, this will keep going.
Weren't you guys trying out? You were trying out a new software package, right? You're not using that now, obviously.
No. I have Krita on my computer, and it is I'm drawing with the Canvas 13.
Okay.
Now the hope with that is that me and Bezic are gonna be able to work a little bit of animation magic with that.
Yep.
As he's got his fingers on a pretty nifty animation program, so. If I can start drawing in vector or something or something translated into vector.
That's his neat animation program is Disco.
Yeah.
Not really. I know
he basically downloaded a Disco on his computer. Now there's 2 of them.
Yeah.
This is getting out of hand. Now there are 2 of them.
Which, man, I was going back through. I watched those White Pill episodes that she posted on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I appreciate those. I really do.
Yeah, it's my favorite part. It's a favorite part of the Sultans at this point.
Yeah, I do like the because she finds some good things, you know.
She does.
And especially about animals and shit. There's always good things.
Yeah. So, it's nice to have like a dedicated time on the Sultans, because there can be way too many black pills. We do have a lot of good jokes too, but there might be a bit too many black spots, of course, every now and then.
Every now and then, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's sometimes it's a bit doomer.
And I wish Monkey wasn't colorblind when it came to shades of gray. Because he thinks white pills are gray pills.
Well, of course, every white pill is a gray pill to a cynic. Yeah. You know.
Well, I am cynical, but even I know when a white pill is a white pill.
Yeah. Yeah, I like this texture brush.
Thank you.
It's working well. You're getting good with it. You're getting good with it.
Yes. Spending a little bit more time to learn something new. I love the construction pencil. But it is holding me a bit back, sadly.
Let's see. Now you'll have 2 arrows in your quiver.
Yes.
This one and the construction pencil.
Now I have a 25% chance of hitting and missing. So yeah, I've started using construction pencil as the beginning, and then I go over to like the soft charcoal, and go from there. And hopefully I'll be able to develop more and more and more. It's it's fun. Now I'm generally learning new things, which is again the point of this whole thing.
Can I? What's your how? Do you draw in? Do you ever sit down and draw on pencil and paper?
I did back in the day.
Back in the day,
especially during school.
I used to do a lot of drawing in school.
Yeah, my notebooks were like covered in drawings, and there were times where the teacher didn't mark our names, right? Just accidentally forgetting it, right?
Yeah.
She always knew which one was mine.
Yeah.
Because even on fucking timed tests, even there, I found ways. I found time to make some small, weird-ass fucking drawings.
Some little doodle somewhere on there. Yeah, that's funny.
Once she graded my drawing.
Right. That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah, my school teachers were pretty cool.
Yeah, I always had a notebook or something.
Yeah.
I used to really like drawing with charcoal and pastels and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Chalk pastels and oil pastels. I used to love oil pastels.
Mine was a pencil pen. You know, the one where you click down and it gets more lead out of it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, those soft pencil, the Bic mechanical pencils, 0.7 millimeter pencils.
0.5 and
they
0.7.
had such the 0.5 and 0.7. They always had such a nice smooth lead. That was so good for drawing, dude.
Like,
because it would get so smooth. It was so soft.
Like, here's the thing: if you give me one of those and a piece of paper, I can't help myself. I just have to fucking draw something. I don't care what it is. Random doodles. That's what you get.
Which, if I would have known about sketch pencils back then, my life probably would have taken a different course. You know, if I would have had a set of art pencils. But like, now I have friggin' bunches of sketch pencils. I got tons of them.
Oh yeah, it's a good time doing art, dude. It's fun, and a lot of people say, "Oh, you can't do art." It's like even they can do it. It's all about practice and finding out. Because I might be a quote-unquote good artist. I might be good at drawing shit, but I am bad at doing technical drawings. Have me do like machines and technological shit. Oh boy. Which is gonna be interesting the day I can drag on Yiz to do some art, do some video on BattleTech.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's gonna be interesting.
That would be cool.
I want to do it. The problem is I'm really bad at drawing mechs. Perspective is very important there.
Yeah. Perspective is pretty important for mechs.
Yeah.
You know,
cue some kind of Bessa commentary.
Right.
Though I feel like I've gotten slightly better at that.
So I'm looking at this, and it's too late. I wonder if there's not a way to soften out the point on that hook at the angle there. But
I haven't gotten. I'm not quite done with it yet.
Yeah, no, it's fine. But yeah, charcoal. See, and that's the charcoal pencil's fun. And the drawing with charcoal, because I like using my hands for shit, right? Like, I mean, that's what my painting. I used my hands for the spray painting. I even, it's real hands-on.
Yeah. You gotta be real handy.
Yeah. And so working with charcoal, charcoal stuff like that is another. It's really hands-on, and I really, you gotta use your fingers to smudge stuff. I end up making a big mess.
Yeah, but it's a lot of fun though. Holy crap! And it becomes so satisfying when you do them right too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I always wear gloves when I work, when I do any kind of art, because I know I'm just going to end up getting it all over my hands. Yep. I'm going to end up getting paint all over my hands. I'm going to end up getting clay all over my hands. I'm going to end up getting, resin, whatever I'm working on. I'm going to end up getting it all over my hands.
Some of it is, whatever you're doing with anything that's kind of sticky, it's getting on your hands.
Yeah. But the thing is, dude, when I'm painting minis, I'll get paint on my hands and stuff, but I won't get paint on the table. I'm pretty good about that.
Damn right.
But I had a homie over the other day. He came over to paint some stuff, and I have a giant green cutting mat, those self-healing cutting mats that I cut my stencils on, and I had it on the table, and the fucker got paint on it. And I was like, damn it, he got paint. Well, and getting paint on it was kind of annoying, but the thing that really was super annoying to me was he got freaking super glue on it. And like little globs of super glue. Because he was putting together and painting minis on it.
How do you... Okay, what, does it have Parkinson's or some shit?
No, he just dripped. He ended up dripping super glue somehow. I don't know. I don't know how. I just know that it happened. And so the little gobs of super glue would make it impossible for me to just flip the mat over and work on it on the other side because it wouldn't lay flat. And so I had to end up cutting, like scraping the little daubs of super glue off of it. And now I can flip it over and I can use it to record on again. I mean, not like it matters. People don't give a shit if what I'm recording my stencil cutting on is kind of clean or dirty. I just feel like it's less distracting if it's the solid.
It's more for your own sake to have a decent workspace.
It is. And it's kind of frustrating too, because it's like, God damn it, dude. Like, this ain't your place. Why are you making a mess like this?
Yeah.
But
there's a reason I'm fucking nervous bringing people to my house.
Let's say that's my fault for that's why I don't bitch to my friends a lot of the time when if someone leaves some trash out or something. I don't like if someone leaves a can or a soda cup or something like that. I don't necessarily bitch at them the next time they come over. I just throw it away. Because if I want them to do something about it, I gotta tell them while they're there. I don't need to bitch at them afterwards because I'm accepting responsibility.
Yep.
Of by bringing them over, by asking them to come hang out, I'm accepting the responsibility that I am gonna have to clean up after them when they leave.
Such is the law of hospitality.
Right, exactly. That's a good way to put it. The law of hospitality. The law of hospitality. Yeah, the law of hospitality. Okay, my fucking mouth is getting dry.
You should drink something then.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. So,
yay. I'm a smart ass. Let's see.
But anyhow.
Let's see.
Yeah, I need to get back to start doing more stuff.
Yeah.
More art. I was really hoping to move and get into a new place, because I know getting into a new place would help me have more. If I had a new place to work, that would give me more energy to work. But that might just be pie in the sky bullshit. It might just be that I just need to work on something.
Yeah. Just
stop looking for an excuse.
Find a moment. Find a way to cheat those fucking bitches from the cancerous spot.
Yeah, the ops bitches. Yeah, well, that's the thing is I can't. I could risk it and try to do the painting and stuff like that, but I legit don't want to give them any reason to. And I'm on my third strike. With the patio, right? So if they find another reason to bitch about my patio, they can violate the lease. They can violate my lease. So I really have no leeway at all on my patio. None.
It's such bullshit. I'm
right,
sorry.
Because the next time they decide to be capricious about their bullshit, then it screws me. And so the only way to avoid that is to not give them anything to complain about. Remove the possibility for them to complain about anything. And unfortunately doing that means I can no longer paint. I don't have any of my, because I used to have USB inputs and lights ran out on my patio. I pulled all that shit down.
Of course.
Because
you had a cool studio.
Again, I did. I had a really cool studio area set up out there. That was it wasn't like a big awful eyesore. It was, again, one of those things that when people walked around the neighborhood and saw it, they thought, oh, that's kind of cool. Like, oh, he's got neat decorations up. Just like I walk around and I see flowers and the other people that have taken the time to decorate their patio, and I'm like, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, even though I'm not allowed to do the same thing without getting in trouble. I appreciate that you guys are doing it and that you are and that you haven't given up like I have, because I've given up on trying to hope that they'll be reasonable about it.
When you're being threatened with homelessness, it's kind of difficult to try to find alternatives.
Yeah, it is. It is. So, yeah.
So again, karma is a thing. They will get what's coming for them.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, they will.
But it's not, whether they suffer or not is not necessarily it may be my desire, but it's not my concern.
Oh no, I'm not saying suffering.
As long as, they just leave me the fuck alone. Yeah, that's all I want.
But there's one thing I've learned in life is that shit rolls downhill. Sooner or later, they're gonna get something on their head. Soon they're gonna start. If it ain't you, it's someone else who's gonna get shit on by them, and sooner or later they'll do that to the wrong guy. They'll find a Lobo, and he doesn't really care.
Yeah, that's true. But you can only be an asshole for so long before it catches up to you, for sure.
Exactly. So imagine these chicks suddenly go around being Karens, and then they meet the Lobo.
Yep. Yeah. Well.
Would be pretty, but it's their own fault.
And I'd love to be that character, but turns out I got a family.
Yeah, you got family and responsibilities, and you're a contributing member of society.
I can't risk homelessness, just on principle, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I kind of have to. This is one of those principles that I have to kind of let slide. You know what I mean? Like,
sometimes
I have no choice but to just kind of eat shit on some things, and this is.
Or the nicer way of saying it, just swallow the bitter pill.
Yep. Sometimes you just gotta suck it up.
Yep. It builds character.
So, Yep.
What do you think about the main man so far?
I'm digging it, dude.
Awesome.
I'm digging it a lot. You've done a great job.
Thank you. Having a lot of fun
trying
new things.
You know what I really appreciate is a lot of the time, I appreciate about you is that a lot of the time when I'll say, hey, do you know about this? And you're like, oh, you mean that? And then we can jump right into it. Like with Lobo here. I was like, do you know who Lobo is? You're like, Lobo from DC Comics, the main man? I was like, fuck yeah, the main man. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh. I just love it. The dude is just pure fucking hype. Here's the thing I like about Lobo. But the same reason I like Lobo is the same reason I like the orcs of 40k. He's just pure hype.
Yeah.
He's evil Chuck Norris. Holy shit.
It kind of, he makes me. I mean, think like Lobo is fucking heavy metal.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Like when Lobo's running through space, he's listening to the Ace of Spades.
Yes.
That's what Lobo's doing, dude. He's listening to Lemmy friggin' hollering out Ace of Spades while he's riding that motorcycle across the galaxy. Yeah, that's the kind of shit that Lobo's into.
The softest music he listens to is Kiss. That's as soft as he goes. Or Crazy Train. Damn,
Crazy Train. There you go.
He goes to a bar, somebody's uppity, and then suddenly you start hearing the guitar riff of Crazy Train.
Yeah, he's listening to Slayer and shit like that on the regular. That's this is a great great picture.
Thank you. Noticing how things just take longer these days, it's because I try to develop, and this is gonna take a bit of a time because we're near the 2-hour mark and I still have a little bit left to do. Let's say that.
Oh, are we? Holy shit.
Yeah.
I didn't realize we'd been going for that long, dude. Wow.
Yeah, this is time.
Oh man, I know. Well, that's because we just get talking.
Oh yeah,
But
fucking, I'm having a good time, but I'm also trying to see if
yeah,
I can be a little bit faster. It's old habits are basically kicking my ass. What I'm doing now is still something I have an old habit of doing. You know, going black
right,
and then go from black to white, right?
right.
Usually you should go from white to black, but I of course have done it the opposite way for so long that it's a hard habit to kick. If
Yeah,
I go from white to black, I should be able to work a lot faster than what I am doing.
yeah.
But it's
I mean, I
about turning around some habits here.
yeah. Well, you gotta. I mean, it's practice, dude.
Indeed.
It's you just gotta keep working it, and then it's so cool. This is very much like the process of drawing and doing it this way, like how you're doing it. It's very much like mini painting, like the way you're shading everything, because you're just doing sections at a time. Or
Yeah.
like, okay, I got to work on this section. Like, okay, I got to work on this leg guard. All right, I gotta now I gotta do the boots. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, I do the fucking sole the boot, do the pant leg. Like that's how I paint minis. It's like I'm gonna start. I paint it paint it by sections. You
Yeah.
know,
I've seen people who do like, oh, the whole thing in one. That is just too chaotic for me.
it's yeah. Well, it's like those people that do the single line drawings, or they do those huge hyper detailed drawing, or those hyper detailed drawings, but they do it just small sections at a time. You
Yes.
know, like they'll do not the whole eye, but part of the eye and get it really good, and then they'll do the other part of the eye and finish it out, and then they'll move on to the cheek, and they'll do the part of the cheek next to the eye, and the nose of the bridge of the nose, and then they'll just build out each section, each section a little drawing at a time, basically.
Yes. Which
So
is so goddamn impressive, but holy
it is,
shit.
dude.
Gives me a
It is.
headache to imagine.
Yeah, yes, it does. It gives because and then also those people that do the little weird drawings that just I don't know. See, now those are the people that I always think of as true artists. You know, people that are so meticulous with their craft.
Oh yeah, yes, yes. The people who could just take a sketch, like they take a pencil, and from there make a hyper-realistic eye. You are halfway
Yeah,
expecting that fucking thing to blink,
right.
and he did that with a fucking pencil.
Yep. Yeah, it's amazing. And
Yeah,
like that's what I think of as a true artist.
exactly.
Um,
That is that is the level of people who have earned the title of artist.
yeah.
Not these wannabe bundles of sticks that walks around farting in the cup and sniffing it. Actual people who have honed their craft and their talent for years, able to make magic out of the simplest fucking things. That is
Right.
a true artist.
Well, I saw a video about a dude who makes micro sculptures.
Yeah.
Like he did the something for the Queen's coronation, but it was a carriage inside the eye of a needle. And like you need a microscope to see these paintings, these things he's doing, right? And I think he has the record for the world's smallest paintings.
Yep.
He said he had to. He paints a lot of the time. He paints with a single hair,
Yeah.
and at one point he said the hair was too big, so he's painting a piece of dust with another piece of dust, basically. It's like that is so amazing, and he's talking about how he has to do it like I breathe in, I wait for my heartbeat, I paint. I feel my heartbeat, I paint. I feel my heartbeat, I paint. So he's painting between his heartbeats.
Yeah.
And man,
Those are these
that's a level of
It is a
yeah, that's
level of
talent.
skill and dedication that is superhuman. Because
Yeah.
not all superpowers are punching dudes and flying. This is like a real power. Just knowing your body so well and being able to have this level of control of yourself and understanding of things around you that you can just make things that are beyond understanding for normal people.
Right.
I'm never going to be on that level no matter how much I train, because those are the kind of people who have the talent and the drive.
Right.
But they are also the ones that inspire me in many ways too.
Right.
Like, take... Now, he isn't as... This is not the same, though, and this is a animated series, but one thing that inspired me a lot in my art style when I was a kid, it was Ralph Bakshi's movies.
Oh, yeah, I love those. The
Yeah,
Hobbit and
The Lord of the
Fire
Rings
and
especially.
Ice.
Yeah.
Fire and Ice. See, Fire and Ice had a lot of art from Frank Frazetta in it.
Yeah.
Like Frank Frazetta did a lot of the art for Fire and Ice. And
yeah,
so,
and his my introduction to Ralph Bakshi was his Lord of the Rings movie, and from there it just solidified.
Yeah.
Like I prefer Peter Jackson's movies. Yeah.
Yeah, it was his Hobbit movie for me. That was his first movie I ever saw was The Hobbit when he did.
Ralph Bakshi didn't do The Hobbit.
Yeah, I thought he did The Hobbit. I know there's the Lord of the Rings ones.
Yeah, the ones that did The Hobbit is the one that did Return of the King and the Unicorn. The Last Unicorn. He has a different name, and he also kind of affected me there in many ways, because my art style has some similarities with both of them. You also have Asterix and Obelix. You know the
he did Wizards. That was the other one he did. He did Wizards and Fire and Ice. He did Fritz the Cat.
That's an interesting fucking movie. That was not a kid's movie.
No.
Ralph. One thing I'm happy to see is that Ralph is tweeting on Twitter.
Really?
Yeah, but not any political bullshit. He just references his fucking movies.
I follow a few artists on.
The Twitter.
On Twitter, and yeah, there are a lot of really amazing artists out there. And I follow some of them I found through Heavy Metal Magazine, because I follow Heavy Metal Magazine. Heavy Metal Magazine has awesome art, and
Heavy metal, dude, it's something on its own. Like, sure, you got a lot of the TNA factor, but the art itself is just amazing.
Yeah, for sure.
I love the heavy metal movie, dude.
Yeah, I've seen both of them. I mean, numerous times. But they do kind of seem a little bit like Gooner bait at times, but they're so cool looking.
Yeah,
you know,
you want Gooner potential semi Gooner bait? Yeah, just fucking look at Jodorowsky's Bond SNAs, dude. Holy shit.
Oh yeah.
They are a bit titillating, and then suddenly you take left turn into Crazy Town, and you don't know where you are. Suddenly you're now Shit Creek without a paddle, and now the lake is on fire. That's basically reading anything from from Alexander Jodorowsky.
Yeah, Jodorowsky.
Yeah, that dude ain't right in the head, but fuck me. Like, he's an example of the people with an artistic mind, which cannot and should never try to be restrained.
Yeah, I still have to see the Jodorowsky's Dune movie. Everybody's telling me to see that. I've never watched it, but
if there's one thing that you think you hate bigwigs and corporate shit now, that movie will solidify it to levels you've never experienced before, because that's the one thing that
that's
killed.
Impossible.
Oh, you say that. You say that. It's just like with journalists. You think you hate them enough, but you don't.
Yeah,
There's always another level.
Yeah, that's true.
There's always a bigger fish.
That's true. That's kind of been the overarching thrust of this Simply Sketchy, is that the corporate incursion into art and the artistic realm is detrimental to both the artist and the art.
Yeah.
You know, it really it's crushing to the artist because it undermines their
soul in many ways.
Their necessity to have inspiration to create.
Yes.
Right, because you just have to create on demand. And necessarily you're creating stuff that is not. It may not. Well, if you're just doing it for a corporation, it might not be something that aligns with your ideals or values. Definitely. But definitely not with your emotions.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and with your, which, like it or not, you know, your emotions factor into your art, and you can't deny. Nobody can deny that. And if you got a bunch of corporate fucking stooges telling you how to do everything and how to make stuff, then it's not going to be as good.
You want to see corporate art? Go look at... Okay, difference between corporate art and... corporate-made art and and art made by people who loves what they do. Look at Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings movie and then look at Rings of Power. You might not want to look at Rings of Power, but it is a perfect example of corporate made.
Right. You just look at screenshots from the two. Just look at shots of the armor. Then you look at and you think of that. I don't think that Peter Jackson spent as much on making his movies as they did making Rings of Power.
No, but here's the thing. The lack of talent is what wastes money. I mean, just look. You talked about that newest game, right? That 33 something.
Yeah, Claire Obscura 33.
Yeah, made by the people who used to work for Ubisoft in a 40-man team. And now you have Assassin's Creed Shadows. 1,000 people worked on that. And it is irrelevant. It is dead. It is gone. It is never coming back.
You know, I'm curious. How many people are still playing that right now?
I want to say it maxes out at... I'm going to be nice. I'm going to be really charitable. It maxes out at 600.
Assassin's Creed. What's it called?
Shadows.
Oh, yeah.
Fentanyl edition.
Oh, Assassin's Creed Shadows there. It's at the very bottom.
Of course.
Chart. Oops. Charts, there we are. Currently has 2,700 players.
2,700?
Right, 27, which I'm surprising. It's at a 24-hour peak of 2,400 or 4,250 people. So
I'm impressed. Huh.
Oh yeah, for a game that took like fucking 8 years to develop and $1 billion, like super awesome, super great.
Oh, yeah.
Good job, guys. Well done. 4,000 players. After I'll bet you made your money back on that.
Oh yeah.
I just love it.
I'm surprised there's that many playing it though. It is unequivocally.
I'm surprised there's that many people playing it, but
yep.
But 4,200 people it's not very many people at all. Not even a little bit.
Especially considering 1,000 people worked on that thing. 1,000 people.
Yep. And so now, the 24-hour peak for Elden Ring is 10 times higher. Actually, it's more than 10 times higher.
Fucking love Elden Ring.
It's funny. The 24-hour peak for Elden Ring is only 20,000 players less than the all-time peak for Assassin's Creed.
Boy,
oh, yeah. There's almost as many people playing Elden Ring right now than there were, or I guess I'll say there are half as many people playing Elden Ring right now as there were playing Assassin's Creed when it released at its peak. So,
Get fucked.
yeah, get fucked, indeed.
Yep.
Because it just goes again to continue to show, and people are so hyped for GTA 6. I really hope it sucks.
I hope so too.
I really hope it's dumb as hell.
No, even worse. Even worse. I don't hope it sucks. I hope it's mediocre.
Yeah,
I hope it's mediocre.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I think it's probably just going to end up being a meh game.
Yep.
Because people have been so anxious. They've been so excited for Vice City or for GTA 6. Like, do you really think what can you improve over 5 that you can add to GTA 6? What are they going to do? They're going to add some new content, right? And I guarantee what they're going to do is they're going to put in a bunch of NPCs that you can't hurt, and a bunch of NPCs that you can't mess with.
Yeah, they announced pride parades in the game.
Yeah.
You saw the memes, right?
Yep, I did. But you know what? They're going to make it so those things are invincible.
Yep.
They're going to put them in an area where you can't drive and you can't fuck with them. Because they're not going to let players. They're not going to let players go fucking wild on that. They're not going to let them do that because modern stuff. Like, you can't.
Yeah.
Because that's a venerated class of people, and you can't hurt a venerated class of people in a modern.
They are a
protected
game. Class. They are a protected class, and you cannot hurt them.
Yes. Man, that was a good impression. Right
Thank
there.
you. You know exactly what I referenced to. Oh, that was a good one.
But yeah, they so corporate bullshit ruins art a lot of the time.
Seeking to increase their own shares, own values, and they want to do shortcuts. That's why they listen to retarded activists. It's like, oh, our idea will make sure you win a lot of money in the future. Sure. The worst part was during like the COVID era, because that's when they started getting like these money extra cuts or benefits for following the party line.
Oh yeah. Well, once the government started getting involved and handing out money for shit, it was all over.
Oh yeah.
Like that's why we've had so much.
Happened.
That's why we've had so much crap shoved into our games.
Yeah.
It's because the government got involved and started giving them money. Once the government gets involved and starts giving them money, then the profit motive gets driven down quite a bit. Because you're profitable by virtue of selling it to the government, not by virtue of selling it to the wider market.
Yep. But here's the right side, and a bit of an accelerationist perspective, but it was right. It accelerated the process because it overextended during that era. They had all the balls at their court. They had everything going for them, and then they started overextending. You know, going for this, going for that, hitting every single thing. They started going too hard and offensive. Then people started noticing more and more and more, and suddenly they left a mark and a stain on themselves which wouldn't disappear.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so in a way, even though I
crossed two lines.
Yeah.
So they crossed two lines as they let the normies know, and they went after kids.
Yeah. Oh, they've always been after kids, but they went after kids too overtly.
Yeah. Well, they made it too obvious that they were going after kids.
Indeed.
So
much for not being political, but hey, it's something that needs to be said, for fuck's sake.
I mean, we're still discussing it in the context of art. It's fine.
It is. Because a real artist doesn't care about shit like that. Fake artists, they do. or pretend to do.
And Bill Hicks, comedian Bill Hicks, had a great take on that, about artists selling out to corporations, right? Like an artist coming out, because then he said, what did he say? Once I know that you're a mouthpiece for some corporation, every word that comes out of your mouth is like a turd falling into my drink.
Yes.
I just do not care for anything that falls out of your fucking mouth after I know you're a corporate mouthpiece.
Yep. Basically how every single, like, that was the era when I started despising celebrities. Like, I never had much of a love for them, but there was a select few which I idealized, like Mark Hamill and so on. And after that era, I was like, oh, great. Now I hate you.
Right. Now you start realizing that actors are not actors because they're awesome people. It's because they can pretend really good.
Yes, and for some reason, they lost that skill during the fucking China years, so hey!
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding.
I wonder how much Bessie's gonna finish this, because we should be allowed to talk about it. It's gonna be bork.
It's gonna be the China thing. We haven't really broached anything too controversial.
Bork. Woo! Bork.
That's not the. Oh, you're gonna. Yeah, if you don't cut. If he leaves that in, then your video will get the little YouTube box on it.
Box on
about
it?
the corona. Yeah, the COVID-19.
Yeah. But Xi Jinping, Winnie the Pooh will send his Poogaloos after me.
Winnie the Pooh, come after you for the Winnie the Flu. Yeah.
Okay, maybe we should stop that. This is not the right channel. Sorry, Bessic.
We were talking about something imaginary from the comic book, anyways. It's not real.
Yeah. It's not
totally
real.
Nothing in real life.
This
it's all
would
comic book
never happen. It's more likely
we're
that
all talking about
it was more likely
in the
that
context of comic books.
Yes. Or a video game like Dead Rising 3, who saw it all happen before it happened. Fuck.
Right.
That's the best part about it. Everyone, guys, play Dead Rising 3. You'll see what I mean. It's one hell of a game for pattern recognition. Is what I'm saying. Like, especially some of the bosses. Funny. Yeah. Every boss in that game has a sin that relates to them.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes. Now, just do yourself a favor. Go on Google, search Dead Rising 3, and then search Pride boss.
Okay.
Note also when the game came out. Yeah. And do you know what sets this boss off to go full psycho and try to kill you?
You misgender her?
Yeah. The main character says, "Excuse me, sir," and she loses her shit and tries to kill you with a barbell.
Fantastic.
Oh boy.
That's awesome. What a really kind of cool character design. Like, it's hilarious. Swinging the dumbbell. She swing the barbell at you.
Yeah, it is. Wait, that's not a barbell. Is it? Wait, is it? Fuck, which is which again? I keep forgetting.
It's not a barbell. It's a. No, yeah, it's a barbell. Well, it's a weight. I don't know. Not dumbbells. Dumbbells are the
dumbbells are the ones you hold with the fucking handles on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know my training lingo. But yeah, it is so much like, yeah, the game is janky as fuck. But if you manage to bring a friend and play Dead Rising 3 together, or incidentally go to Besic's channel and watch me and his playthrough of that game, because it's a lot of fun. It is.
Besic could take the opportunity to link that on the screen here.
Yeah, he better.
To throw the little link on the screen.
I gave him an opportunity. If he doesn't fucking take it, I'll be disappointed.
Yeah. Or whoever uploads it to YouTube, because that's who has to do it. Is the person who uploads it to
Basic
YouTube.
uploads it to YouTube.
Oh. Okay.
Basic does everything technological. I don't need to do shit. Except for whenever we do the recordings, and for some reason, it hasn't exploded yet.
Huh.
Though the smell of sulfur is worrying whenever I turn the computer on. Away, demons!
That's just the you need to get a tech priest sensor with an incense sensor.
Yep.
Shake it around your computer before we go on to do the stream or do a live stream or a friggin'
The day I saw the weakness
recording.
of the day I realized the weakness of my flesh, it disgusted me.
Make sure you appease the Omnissiah before you
Yeah.
before
I have
you
a
do
genuine feeling that there's a lot of people that will do that in the future. You know, when people get dumber and when my tech spec become the norm. It might happen, dude. It is a potential future.
See, now I don't like, we make fun of that with the 40K, but it actually kind of works, right? Like, it actually kind of does work in the 40K universe. That's why they do it.
Yeah, and
like,
sometimes
and if we
it works
perceive
here as well.
yeah. So if we could start convincing people that it works in real life, you know, like.
Why do you think people think manifestation?
Think
why do you think people think manifestation is real?
Right. So, have you ever heard of the bastard operator from hell?
Bastard operator from hell. Go on.
Yeah.
Okay, illuminate me.
It's an IT comic. It was a comic. It was a website, like a web comic.
All right.
It didn't have a lot of comics in it, but it was just telling stories of this guy called the Bastard Operator. He was just this really asshole sysadmin that worked for a corporate company that hated everybody that worked there.
Fair enough.
And so he was always being a dick to people. One of the ones that I remember quite firmly was he was talking to someone called into the help desk about their network not working, like their computer network not working, right? And so he's talking to the guy on the phone. He's like, "Oh, look at your network cable, and look at your network cable, and you can see that the wires are twisted in it. And so, oh, your twisted pair got mixed up, so you'll have to straighten it out. So what you have to do is give that cable a really good tug to straighten it out."
A fucking dick.
So he's like, so I'm on the phone, and then I hear all of a sudden a loud yelling and crashing, and I hang up.
Oh, yeah.
So it was stuff like that. He was just an asshole, like the asshole IT guy.
Shouldn't it be, you can live vicariously through those for the comics.
Yeah, they did. That was kind of what they were for. It's for IT guys would read the Bastard Operator from Hell comics and go, "Oh, that's so funny. I wish I could tell my users to throw their computer out the window instead of calling me because I don't want to talk to them. Their work is dumb and unimportant." Like, no, it's not like that. You can't always say that.
Let's be honest.
And
if an IT guy said that to fix a computer you have to throw out the window, some people will try to do that.
Oh yeah, some people would. Totally, for sure.
I know what you're trying to say, Basic. Fuck you. No.
And largely those people work in HR.
Yeah. Subhuman intellect? What?
Yeah. I'm not gonna say subhuman intelligence because that's an insult to subhumans.
Yeah. On behalf of all subhuman intelligences, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Apologize to subhumans for
Trim's
comparing them to HR people.
Yeah, Trim's art check does not condone comparing subhuman entities to HR people. Okay,
we're not gonna
cool.
get on. Yeah,
You're
we're
cool.
not gonna get on board with the debasement of subhuman entities by by implying that they are HR representatives.
Yeah, I mean, we can be spicy here, but Christ, we gotta have standards.
That's just mean.
Yeah, it's just oof.
That's uncalled for. There's
I
no
know.
reason to insult the subhumans like that.
Yeah, my apologies, guys. Just you're cool. It's I won't make it. I will not make a YouTube video about it. But you'll. I will not. I can't. The reason I won't do
Make
that
a
is because
video apology.
Yeah, but
YouTube apology
unfortunately,
video.
I can't play I can't play the ukulele, so no apology videos.
Oh God.
Remember that shit, Joe?
Oh man. What a friggin'.
Oh, that bitch.
Yeah.
What the
I'm too
fuck?
old.
Uh.
Because I never saw the appeal of that. I always thought that chick was so friggin' annoying. But
I don't even remember what the hell her thing was. I just remember she was a bitch, and that's it.
I remember, because I have a niece who was turning, she was becoming a teenager around then and just starting to learn how to do her makeup. And sometimes she'd wear this like super bright red lipstick, and I'd tell her she looks like Miranda Sings, and she did not like that.
I mean, if it's right, it's right.
But yeah, it was funny.
Yes. And sometimes you gotta hurt kids' feelings a little bit. It builds character.
Well, I'm their funny uncle, so yes. I gotta. Apparently, because I say shit off the cuff and they'll, so one of my nephews showed up, and he'd put on quite a bit of weight. He showed up with his fiance, and introduced her to me, and I saw him, and I was like, holy shit, like, you look like you ate your brother. What the hell is wrong? And just, it just came off, and apparently they still laugh about it. I was like,
good. A good burn is a good burn.
And I didn't even remember saying it. It's hilarious. Like they remember it very clearly, and I don't hardly remember. I don't remember saying it.
I mean, for you it was just Tuesday. For them, it was an important part of their lives.
Getting roasted by their Uncle David.
We'll see what the hell I'll do. Though I'm gonna be honest, one of my step nieces, she's only 10 years old, but she can, she can snark. I'm just saying, she got some good fucking snark in her. I just say something to her, and then she comes back, she just fires back with some other fucking quip, and is like, hey, I like this. This is good.
Yeah.
All right, let's make this easy, shall we?
Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, I was wondering what you were gonna do for the background.
The background is gonna get some Outback shit. Let's see. Gotta make it simple, cause we're kind of squeaking on time. Was that a cat?
Oh yeah, it's my girl.
Aw.
She's sitting here next to me. She wants love.
Oh.
Actually, now she's found a Velcro tie to play with, and now she wants to play with that. So that's good.
Yes. Let's see.
She's got cat activation noises. When you touch her, she makes a noise.
Nice.
You pet her, she goes meow. She does something.
My brother has a cat too. It's kind of adorable. A poor thing lost its tail, and so it's only a stump, so it looks like a lynx. So the joke is, hey, you got a lynx on your farm again?
Hey, it's better than a giant three-headed winged panther.
Yeah.
Acid spitting panther.
Yeah. Gee, at least I'm not a dream demon. That'd be an
Yeah.
awkward situation. Spend all your
Those
time being subversive and shit, and suddenly you get your face full of acid. Whoopsie daisy.
we had a cat like that, a bobtail cat. My mom's called him Bob.
Wait,
Like,
acid spitting cat?
no, a bobtail cat.
Oh,
Yeah, we
okay,
had an
okay.
acid spitting cat on the farm growing up. You know,
Yeah, just to keep your
liquefy the
toxins away,
mice.
huh? Yeah.
It was like a it's like a fly. He ate like a fly. It was really weird. He wouldn't eat the mouse. He would puke on it and then slurp it up. Oh,
Every time we
gosh,
fed him something, it looked like the fucking blob, I swear.
I could see that. Yeah, no, we had barn cats when I was a kid. So
Yeah.
'cause we had a farm.
I wish I
So
could have
we,
a cat, but my father hates those things.
oh man,
Oh yeah. Me and my
I
mom
love
love
my
cats.
cats.
He hates
I'm
cats.
I'm thinking about getting a kitten. Like I'm
Hey.
really on the fence about getting another kitten. Just
Yeah, sure, why not?
yeah, because Snake, my middle one, this is my justification. This is my bullshit justification for it. Snake, my middle cat. I got him when Rorschach was about Snake's age now,
Hmm.
because I wanted Rorschach to have like a friend or someone to play with, you know, or someone he could at least, because Mary doesn't play, you know. But Snake and Rorschach were friends. They weren't the best of buddies, and Rorschach wasn't a super playful cat all the time. But him and Snake got along really well, enough to where when Rorschach disappeared, it was their behavior changed. My other cat's behavior changed because they recognized he was gone.
Right.
So, anyhow, I was tempted to. So I'm thinking about getting a kitten so that Snake can have, you know, a companion
That'd be nice.
or someone to play with, you know, because Snake wants to play with Mary, but Mary doesn't want anything to do with Snake like that. So,
Back off, little one. I feel no need to play with thee.
yeah, she's a grumpy old girl. That's what it is. She's just old. It's like, when you think about it, if a 15-year-old boy ran up to a 70 or a 60-year-old lady and was like, "Hey, let's play," what's she gonna do? Like,
Kid, I got a
fuck outta here.
4-letter word for you.
yeah, I guess it's more like a 12-year-old. Say Snake's kind of an adolescent because
Yeah.
he's 3 now. So
Okay, question.
Yeah.
Snake, huh? Is it Metal Gear Solid?
no,
Is it?
so that's not why. No, that's not why I named him that. No. There's 2 reasons. One, the markings on his face do kind of look like a snake.
Oh.
And so I saw him and I was like, oh, he kind of looks a little snaky on his face. But then 2, my friend Malox was going to get a snake. She was trying to get a snake when I got Snake.
Right.
And so she was going to name her snake Cat.
Aww.
And so I had a cat named Snake. So
Melix is such a fucking nerd.
oh, she's fucking hilarious. But yeah, that's what. So that's why I have a cat named Snake.
Yeah.
Those 2 reasons.
Snake! Snake!
Snake. Snake.
Da, da, da.
It's a snake.
Betcha,
It's a snake,
mushroom, mushroom.
Yeah.
Man, people never gonna understand Weeble stuff.
No.
There you go. The main
but yeah,
man,
so-
chillaxin'.
That is fantastic, dude.
Now, I have one idea left. Guess you can't have the main man without the right eyes. His eyes doesn't glow, right? They're just red.
Nope, they're just red.
Good. There we go. No.
Fuck yeah. No, no pupils.
Fair enough.
Just have them red. Just leave them flat red. There you go.
There you go. Introducing the main man.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's see. Honestly, I'm thinking about letting it be like this.
Yeah, no, I think that looks good, dude.
Yeah. Huh. Should I don't know if I should lighten the dinosaur though. Nah. Make Lobo stand out a bit more. Let's go for 98. Just a little lighter.
Yeah.
There we go. Here you go. After a long ass time. Here you go. Lobo from the DC Comics. The main man. The mangler of anyone. The mangler of anyone dumb enough to fucking go against him. The
That's
one who
right.
shall shove a dog through your body if the dog pisses on you. And whatever fuckery he can do. Lobo.
Yes, indeed.
Yep. So, just to round things off, I would very much like to thank you, Dave, for dropping by and having, honestly, several damn good conversations today.
Yeah, right. This was a long one. So,
oh yeah, we covered a lot of subjects.
We did.
Oh yeah. Got to vent a little bit, gets out some frustration and bullcrap. Yeah, it was honestly just a good time. And, of course, would also like to say thank you to Robert Renato for letting me use and abuse his music. He's also an artist of the fucking ears, because he can make a lot of good stuff, and he's not open for commissions as he's a bit busy, but again, drop by his YouTube channels, because he's got a lot of good stuff.
Sure.
And, of course, a thank you to Bezic for editing all of this. It ain't easy. I know what I put him through, but he's handling like a champ. Thank you, Besic. Applause for him, guys. And, of course, a big thank you to everyone and anyone who has dropped by to watch or listen to this recording. I really appreciate it deeply. Thank you all very much. If you're interested in hiring me for commissions, I can, of course, do commission work. It is down in the description below. You'll be able to find my Ko-Fi, or you can just get to my Twitter and DM me from there. That's basically the best way to reach me out. Aside from that, another thank you to Dave for joining me here.
My pleasure as always, dude.
Yeah. And with that, goodbye, everyone. Hey.
Bye-bye.